Hello everyone, welcome to Miss Tina Academy YouTube channel. So in this channel, we'll be posting you a lot of contents relevant to English literature, which would be helpful to attend the competitive exams. So mostly the contents will be covered up in bilingual, both Tamil and English as well. So without any further delay, let's move on to today's topic. So today we are going to see Immortality Ode, which was written by William Wordsworth. Before moving on to the poem, we'll have a short introduction about the author. So we all know that William Wordsworth is a nature poet and he was a pantheist too. So pantheist அப்படின்னா என்ன? A person who who doesn't believe in a single god. ஒரு single god இல்ல ஒரு single religion அதோட belief மட்டும் இருக்கிற person கிடையாது. Particularly no idol worship. So he is a believer of nature and divinity. So a person who believes God is in everything. And his sister was Dorothy Wordsworth. And Wordsworth's first work was a sonnet, and it was published in European magazine in the year 1787. So இவரோட sonnet, it's a beauteous evening commentary. So in the sonnet வந்து எந்த theme base பண்ணி இருக்குன்னா, he is having a walk with his daughter near a seaside. So அதை பற்றி recall பண்ணுற மாதிரி இந்த work இருக்கு. 1795ல அவர் கால்ரிட்ஜை மீட் பண்ணுறாரு. அதுக்கப்புறம் along with Coleridge, he is publishing lyrical ballads in 1798. இது வந்து first edition. Second edition of lyrical ballad was published in the year 1800. So Wordsworthோட semi autobiographical poem magnum opus அப்படின்ற poem வந்து ப்ரீவியஸாக எப்படி டேர்ம் பண்ணாங்கன்னா the poem to Coleridge. So that was completed in the year 1805. Lyrical ballads of the first edition. அது வந்து it is starting with the work of Coleridge, Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and it is ending with Wordsworth's work Tintanabe. So as I told you earlier, second edition was published in 1800. Second editionல வந்து preface add பண்ணியிருக்காங்க and they have also mentioned Wordsworth as an author in that. So and the preface வந்து it is written in the real language of men rather than 18th century verse. So அவரோட play The Borders, a Verse Tragedy, so that was set during the time period of Henry III of England. So அவரோட famous poem வந்து The Lucy poem. So it has 5 collections. So those I have mentioned here. And next one, Wordsworth, Southey and Coleridge. இவங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து they were termed as lake poets. So just because they were settled in lake districts, they were denoted as lake poets. So இந்த term வந்து யார் coin பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா Francis Jeffrey. So இவரோட short work வந்து எதுன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it is Tintanabe. In 1807, Wordsworth வந்து poems in 2 volumes இதை வந்து publish பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. That includes Intimation of Immortality in that. 1814ல The Excursion அப்படின்ற work வந்து publish பண்ணியிருக்காரு. 1802ல he published London. So this work was particularly addressed to Milton. In 1838, he was awarded a honorary doctorate in civil law, and in 1842, he started to receive a pension of €300 per year. So அவர் வந்து 1843ல poet laureate ஆகிறாரு. யாரோட டெத்துக்கு அப்புறம்னா சவுதியோட டெத்துக்கு அப்புறம் he is becoming as a poet laureate. And he was buried at St. Oswald Church, Grasmere. So after his death, அவங்க wife வந்து she is publishing his work The Prelude in 1850, which was considered as an autobiographical poem. So the Prelude வந்து it also has another name and it was called as Growth of Poet's Mind. Later Dorothy Wordsworth வந்து Grasmere Journal வந்து publish பண்றாங்க. And altogether Wordsworth has written around 523 sonnets. Now we shall move on to the poem. So, Intimations of Immortality. அதோட full title வந்து Ode, Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood. So, இது வந்து 1804ல கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணாங்க and it has published in the year 1807. இந்த poem வந்து ரெண்டு பார்ட்ஸாக வந்து கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க and it is in the form of irregular pindaric ode and written in 11 stanzas. ஸோ இது வந்து என்ன தீம்ஸ் வந்து பேஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கு அப்படின்னா, it is talking about the childhood, the memory which the poet is having with the nature and about the human soul. ஸோ இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு ஸ்டான்ஸாவாக எக்ஸ்ப்ளனேஷன் பார்க்கலாம். And it is not a deep analysis, it is just an overview of the poem. So first stanza, the first line is starting like there was a time. So in the first stanza வந்து the poet is talking about his childhood. He's thinking about his childhood and he's telling that how earth was very beautiful and he's comparing the earth with heaven. So heaven வந்து எவ்வளோ அழகாக இருக்குமோ அதே மாதிரி வந்து earth is surrounded by its nature beauty. And he's also telling that nature வந்து அவருக்கு ஒரு மிஸ்டிக் திங்காக வந்து இருந்துச்சு. And he's also telling it as celestial lights. And he was during his childhood, whenever he was seeing the nature, whenever he is colliding along with nature, he would be the happiest. ஸோ அவருக்கு வந்து எந்த ஒரு கஷ்டமும் இல்லாமல் he would be very happily enjoying the nature. ஆனால் இப்போது அவரால் நேச்சரை ஒரு ஃபுல் எக்ஸ்டென்ட்டுக்கு என்ஜாய் பண்ண முடியல, செலிப்ரேட் பண்ண முடியல. And he's mentioning like the things which I have seen now I can see no more. ஸோ முன்ன இருந்த மாதிரி இப்போ என்னால் என்ஜாய் பண்ண முடியல. ஸோ நேச்சர் அப்படி தான் இருக்குது. நேச்சர் ஹாஸ் நாட் சேஞ்ச். ஆனால் இவரோட பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவ் டுவர்ட்ஸ் நேச்சர் ஹாஸ் பீன் சேஞ்ச்ட். See for example, this we can apply in our own life as well. இப்போ வந்து ஒரு ஃபெஸ்டிவல் எடுத்துக்கலாம், ஒரு தீபாவளி எடுத்துக்கலாம். when we were smallest kid, ஸோ நம்ம சின்ன வயசில் வந்து என்ன பண்ணியிருப்போம், தீபாவளி அடுத்த மாதம் வரப்போகுதுன்னா இந்த மாதத்துலேருந்தே வந்து லைக் முதல் மாதத்துலேருந்தே we would be starting to celebrate it. So we would be buying guns, we would be buying crackers. So day by day நம்ம வந்து அதை வெடிச்சு we'll be celebrating, we'll be so excited for that festival. ஆனால் இப்போது அந்த ஃபெஸ்டிவல் வரதும் தெரியல, போகிறதும் தெரியல. ஓ எனக்கு தீபாவளியா அப்படின்ற மாதிரி நம்மளே வந்து we are not in a state of enjoying it as we enjoyed in our childhood. So இதோட ரீசன் என்ன அப்படின்னா, we are all growing up. We grow up, we are held with lot of responsibilities, commitments, and that would be the reason for us, something is stopping us to enjoy each and everything as we enjoyed in our childhood. And the same way, Wordsworth is also going through a lot of struggle, like he had gone through a lot of struggle. For example, his sister was sick, Dorothy was sick that time, and Coleridge's death happened. அவங்க டாட்டர் கேர்லினும் இறந்து போனாங்க. ஸோ சின்ஸ் he was having this much struggles in his life, he was not able to enjoy the nature to the full extent. He's telling that he has grown up, he has been surrounded with lot of commitments and responsibilities and lot of emotions which he did not have during his childhood. Moving on to stanza 3. Stanza 3 he's talking about spring season. And he is talking about the birds, the lambs and the shepherd. Birds வந்து it was singing songs, it was chirping, and lambs it was making noise. And he was thinking that nature is very happy. அவர் வந்து சுற்றி பார்க்குறாரு, நேச்சர் வந்து ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக இருக்குது. நம்ம ஏன் வந்து சேடாக இருக்கும், நம்ம ஏன் நம்மளை மாற்றிக்க கூடாது. எஸ் தேர் வில் பி லாட் ஆஃப் ஸ்ட்ரகிள்ஸ், ஆனால் இந்த மாதிரி சோகமாகவே இருந்தால் என்ன ஆக போகுது. So he is meeting a shepherd boy there and he is talking to the shepherd boy and asking him to sing song. And he declares that okay, நம்ம earth அந்த nature எல்லாமே வந்து ஹாப்பியாக இருக்கும்போது நம்மளும் ஹாப்பியாக இருக்க ட்ரை பண்ணுவோம். In the fourth stanza, he is talking about the lambs and shepherd boys and he is thinking that அவங்க எல்லாருமே வந்து வரிசே இல்லாமல் இருக்காங்க, அவங்களாம் வந்து ரொம்ப blessed அப்படின்னு அவர் யோசிக்கிறாரு. And along with that he is inculcating this line, while earth herself is adorning and the children are culling on every side in 1,000 valleys far and wide. இங்கே வந்து he is talking about the nature வந்து ஒரு மதரா கம்பேர் பண்ணுறாங்க, a mother who's carrying her baby in the arm. So here he is telling nature as our mother and she is taking care of us. And again he is looking at the nature, he is still feeling something is missing. ஆனாலுமே வந்து he is telling to himself that he should not worry, instead he has to be happy along with the nature. And next one, stanza 5. Stanza 5 ஒரு famous line இருக்கு, our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. Here the author is telling, the poet is telling that birth வந்து ஒரு temporary thing தான், நம்ம வந்து எங்கேருந்து வந்தோமோ அந்த இடத்துக்கு நம்ம திரும்ப போயிடுவோம். See, as we come to the earth and live a human life, நமக்கு வந்து first few years வந்து லைக் நம்ம கான்ஷியஸ் மைண்ட் வந்து நம்மளை ஓவர்டேக் பண்ணுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி we would be having lot of memories relevant to heaven. So here as we are growing up, what will happen, அந்த heavenly glory வந்து நம்ம கிட்ட மிஸ் ஆகும். நம்ம வந்து இங்கே இருக்க அந்த மெட்டீரியலிஸ்டிக் திங்ஸ், earthly pleasures இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து அது கூட இருந்து நமக்கு வந்து அந்த heavenly attachment வந்து குறைய ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். Forget the glories he hath known and the imperial palace whence he came. So particularly in the stanza 5 he is telling that once we are growing and the heavenly connection is getting lost. Next we shall move on to stanza 6. Stanza 6 the poet is telling that நம்ம வந்து earthக்கு வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் என்ன ஆகும்னா, we'll be meeting with lot of earthly pleasures. ஸோ அந்த earthly pleasures கூட நம்ம கனெக்ட் ஆக ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது we would be losing our connectivity from heavenly glory. We would be losing our connectivity from heavenly things and we would be starting to focus on the earthly pleasures. So here he would have written this line, forget the glories he hath known and that imperial palace whence he came. So next one in 7th stanza, the speaker, the poet, he is imagining himself as a 6-year-old boy. He is telling that as a child is growing up, it would be imitating the human life. So it would be seeing how the parents are living and what importance the parents are giving for earthly things. அதை பார்த்து அதுவுமே வந்து imitate பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். And he is also telling that the child will be learning from his experiences, but most of the time வந்து என்ன ஆகும்னா he would be imitating the life of others. So see this line, and with new joy and pride the little actor cons another part. So இங்க poet வந்து என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா, ஒரு creature, it is coming from heaven to earth, it is starting to live its own life. As it is growing up, it would be losing its heavenly connection, and as it is upgrading in the life, the whole life வந்து என்ன ஆகும்னா it will be turning out to be an endless imitation. Okay, next in stanza 8, here he is mentioning child as the best philosopher. ஏன்னா child வந்து before it is growing up into an adult, it will be having its heavenly touch. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நிறைய நாலேஜ் இருக்கும். It would be enjoying heavenly freedom without any worries. So as it is growing up, what will happen? It will be given lot of responsibilities and commitments. So here he is mentioning this line, why with such earnest pains dost thou provoke the years to bring the inevitable yoke, thus blindly with thy blessedness at strife. So இங்க வந்து என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா, again he is telling that the speaker is not able to understand why the child was so close to heaven in his youth, and suddenly it's to rush as it is growing as an adult. So, ninth stanza, this is the longest stanza, 38 lines வந்து இருக்கு. ஸ்பீக்கர் வந்து என்ன பண்றாரு, suddenly he is experiencing lot of joy when he is thinking that அந்த மெமரிஸ் வந்து எப்பயுமே அவர் சைல்டுஹுட வந்து கனெக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். And he is grateful for the memories whatever he had made in his childhood. And அந்த childhood வந்து அவர் வந்து praise பண்றாரு because that paved way for him through his adulthood life. Stanza 10ல he's turning out towards the birds and the other creatures and telling them not to be sad, instead asking the creatures to be very happy and sing song. Okay, finally, in the final stanza, finally he is telling that we have to stay happy and enjoy the nature and not spend a single moment of worrying. Though we have lot of commitments and human struggles, he is telling that we all should be connected with nature. So finally, Intimations of Immortality. It is a kind of complicated poem where Wordsworth is struggling to connect himself with nature versus understand the humanity's failure to recognize the value of nature.